Very good morning and welcome back to the session. So in the previous class, we have completed with basics of Python, that is comments, friction, print function, and we have completed with variables, right? Yes. Then we have started with basic operators. In that basic operators, we are complete with two of them, that is arithmetic as well as the comparison operators. In today's class, we'll move on to the logical as well as the assignment operators. So once we are complete with that, we can move on to the next topic, and that will be the looping statements, or basically the conditional statements. Okay. So let us begin firstly with the comparison operators. Okay. So let us begin. Okay, comparison operators is already done. I'm sorry. Logical operators. So in the logical operators, we have three of them. So before this, let me just quickly enable the chat. And anyone, if you require the collaborate link, I'll be sending it right now. Yes, I have enabled the chat. Let us begin with logical and or and the logical not operator. So what is logical and? See, in the previous class, we have understood the comparison operators. We have where we are comparing, let's say, two of the values, right? Now, I'm supposed to I'll write one question saying that get only the numbers that is greater than 5 and less than 10. Okay, you are supposed to get only those numbers which is basically greater than 5 and less than 10. So basically there are two conditions, yes or no. So first of all, let me write ex1 is equal to let's say, okay, before this, let me get the value from the user. Now, this is one more function that we are learning. Uh, let me write num and let's get the value from the user. So let me get input. Enter a number. Now, what is the meaning of this? See, if you write input, what happens is, and if you basically run this program, this enter a number will be displayed to the user. Okay, it will be displayed to the user, and the user will enter the number, and that number will be stored inside this num. For example, if I run it, okay, before this, let me just print the value of num, and now let's run it. Okay, it is taking time to connect. Let's let it connect. Yes. Can you see enter a number? It is asking basically. So if I mentions 5, you can see I'm able to get the value as 5. But we have a problem here. The problem is this input function by default. Okay. So I'll write the comment here. Input function by default will take string data type. Okay. Now, even though you can see the output as 5, but actually this 5 is a string data type. That is basically like this. Okay. That is basically like this. This is how basically the output will look like. This is what the output is, right? So inside the course, the 5, if I mention, that is what the output is looking like. But we want a number, right? We want a proper number without any codes. So the main thing that you're supposed to do is you're supposed to convert this string data type into a integer data type. Integer data type is nothing but whole numbers. Okay. So before input, you're writing int. So before that, let me just show you how the data type we are supposed to check. So we'll mention something called as a type operator. Okay, you can see print type of num. So it will print the data type of this particular variable. So if I run it, I'll mention, let's say 5 once again. Can you see the class str it is saying. So basically it is a string data type. We'll do the same thing now, but now we'll mention here int. Int to open, int open bracket and int close bracket. Now let's run. Now let's give the value as 5. Can you see now the class has been changed to int. Now only when the class is changed to int, only then you're supposed to compare now. Otherwise, we cannot compare the values. We cannot compare values with the string data type. Correct? So now we can start with the question. So first question is ex1, or we can mention condition, is equal to the number should be greater than 5. Now this is one of the condition. Now we have one more condition, right? What is one more condition? And it should be basically less than 10. So how can I write this? How can I write this? This can be written with the help of logical and operator. And means we are basically adding two conditions. So this is one of the conditions. Number is greater than 5. And one more condition is there. That is number should be less than 10. Right? Now we'll print the condition and we'll run it. So if I mention 6, you can see output is true. Why it is true? Because number is greater than 5. That is also true. Number is less than 10. That is also true. So when both the condition is true, then only the output will be true. Now, if any of the condition is failing, for example, if I mention 4, now, is the first condition true? No, it is false. Whether the second condition is true? Yes, it is true. But since the first condition is false and the second condition is true, that means one of the condition is failing. That means the entire condition is failing. Okay. So basically, to get the value as true in the AND operator, both the conditions should be true. I hope this is very much clear. Any doubts? Kindly give a thumbs up if you have understood this. I want everyone to give a thumbs up if you have understood this particular AND operator. Be quick. Everybody, I want everybody, be quick. I want everybody to give a thumbs up if you have understood the AND operator. Perfect. Right? Now we'll do the same thing for the condition. Okay, we'll write one more question now. Now I'll write a question saying that get only those values which, okay, get output as true if the entered age is greater than or equal to 18. Okay. Now let's say we do not know this operator. Okay, we do not know this greater than equal to operator. We just know this greater than, as well as we just know this equal to. Okay, we know this two operators. So what we'll do is we'll write one more age, and again we'll convert this into int input, and we'll get enter your age. Okay, so for timing, let me just comment this out. Okay, so first of all, we'll write the condition. The condition is condition. Okay, let me mention this as condition 1 is equal to. Okay, tell me what is the condition now? What is the condition? The age should be either greater than 18, right? This is one of the condition. I'm supposed to mention or operator now, right? Age equal to 18, correct? Whether the age, I mean, one condition is the age should be greater than 18, or the age should be equal to 18. Only then we are supposed to mention the condition as a true, right? We'll mention the condition 1 and we'll try to run it. So if I mention, let's say 23, you can see the output is, I'm already able to get that is true. And if I mention, let's say 18, still I'm able to get the value as true because the second condition is true. What about 15? Yes, I'm getting the value as false. Now, what is happening here basically? Now, in the OR operator, can I say if any of the one operator is true, right? If any of the one condition is true, then the entire condition is true? Yes or no? I'll repeat the question. If any of the one condition is true, that means the output is true. Yes or no? It is yes, correct? So if I mention age is greater than 18, for example, if I mention 20, age is, the first condition is age is greater than 18. That is 20 is greater than 18. Yes, it is true. But what about the second condition? Whether 20 is equal to 18? No, it is not equal to 18. This is false. But since the first condition is true, that is the reason I'm able to get the output as true. Correct? So this is what the logical and logical or will look like. Now, what about logical not? What about logical not? So I'll just comment this also. Well, understand. Yes, we'll understand the meaning of logical not. Logical not is used to reverse the output. So what is the meaning of it? For example, I'll directly mention a condition is equal to true. Okay, I'll directly mention a condition as true. Now, if I print the condition, obviously I'll be able to get the output as true. Yes or no? Now, what I'll do is I'll mention not operator. Not operator means it will reverse the output. That means now true is there. And if I mention not of the condition, what I'm supposed to get? I'm supposed to get false. Okay. So if the false is there here, that means we are supposed to get true. So basically the inverse of it. Correct? The reverse of the output or the inverse of the output we are able to get. I hope this is also very much clear. Any doubts in this? No. So I'll quickly remove all of these comments. Okay, perfect. So we are complete with logical operators. Any doubts till now? No, right? We'll move on to the last operator. Now this is called as the assignment operator. So now assignment operators is actually very, very, very simple. Now this is just like your arithmetic operators. You can see in arithmetic operators, we have addition, subtraction, division, multiplication, modulus, floor, and exponent. Even in assignment operators, we have everything, including that we have one more called as assignment. Now, what is the meaning of this? See, assignment operator is nothing but giving a value to a variable. For example, if I mention a is equal to 10, now 10 value is being assigned to a, yes or no? So this comes under the assignment operator. Very simple, correct? Now, what I'll do is I'll go to a next line and here I'll write, okay, first of all, let me write NUM, number, okay? The second line, I'll mention again number is equal to number plus 1 and I'll print the value of NUM. Now, can you tell me what should be the output? First of all, tell me what should be the output. I want everyone to answer this. What should be the output if I run this print num? So everyone is saying 11, right? So let's check. Yes, you are right. So we are getting 11. Why we are getting 11? Because 10 was basically assigned to num, right? So basically this num variable will be having the value of 10. So 10 plus 1 is 11 and that 11 is stored inside the new variable called as num and that new variable we are basically printing. This is very much clear, right? Now, instead of writing num is equal to num plus 1, you can make use of this, that is addition assignment. So how to make use of this? You're just supposed to write num plus is equal to 1. So it will basically act like the second line itself. Okay, just like this, it will mention you the output as 11. But since you're writing num is equal to num plus 1, instead of that, you can write num plus is equal to 1. So for timing, let me just comment this out and let's run it. You can see we are getting the same output. Correct? If I wanted to do the subtraction assignment, for example, if I wanted to do num is equal to num minus 1. So what should be the output basically? It should be 9, correct? So if I want to do the same thing, we can do num minus is equal to 1. You can see the output as 9. So we can do the same thing for division, multiplication, modulus, floor, exponent, right? This is what the assignment operators will look like. Any doubts? Any doubts? No. Okay, perfect. So we are complete with everything. Okay, we are complete with all the operators now. I mean, all the basic operators. Now we'll start with the new operator. I mean, new statement. Now this statement is called as a conditional statement. Okay, so let us begin with it. Okay, before this, let me just minimize everything that we have learned. Okay, here we have completed with basic of operators is done. Okay, so basics of Python we have completed with, basic operators we have completed. Now we'll start with the conditional statements. Now we have 3 conditional statements. I think everyone knows this already, right? That is if statement, if else statement, and if else statement. Now, if you don't know, don't worry. We'll teach you once again. And before basically understanding this, I want you to understand one thing. That is the meaning of data types. Okay, we are supposed to, I think, no, we'll do it later. No, not a problem. First of all, let us understand conditional statement. Then we'll move on to the data types. Okay, because data types we have several things to understand. So let us begin with the first one. Let's say I want you to check if the number is greater than zero or not. Okay, so you're supposed to create a program where you're supposed to create, I mean, whether you're supposed to check whether the number is greater than zero or not. First of all, tell me what condition I'm supposed to give so that I can check whether the number is greater than zero. I mean, condition. I know we are supposed to use if condition, but I mean if statement. But what condition we are supposed to write? Yes, Janvi, very good. So we have mentioned number greater than zero. Simple. So first of all, we'll get the number from the user. So we cannot just mention input. We are supposed to mention int input so that we can convert into a integer. So let me mention here enter a number. Now we'll start with the if condition. But before understanding if condition, well, first of all, let us understand the syntax of it. Sorry, we'll start with the code only. Yes. So let me mention here syntax of if statement. So syntax will go like this. First of all, you're writing if, that is a small case if, and then you are mentioning the condition. Okay. And then you are supposed to give a code, I mean, colon like this. Okay. If you're mentioning the condition, then you're supposed to give a colon. And if you come to the next line, something is suspicious here. Can you tell me what is it? See, if I don't mention this colon and if I come to the next line, you can see this, right? And if I mention the colon and come to the next line, something is, yes, we can see this two spaces that is been automatically given by the Python. Now this is called as indentation. Exactly, very good. So this is called as an indentation, right? Now indentation is very, very, very important when you mention a if condition. So if condition, you are mentioning the colon, and if you come to the next line, two spaces will be automatically left to you, and here you are supposed to write the statements, whatever statements you want. Okay, now this is the syntax of mentioning a if condition. Now if I want to write one more condition, that is elif condition, then we are supposed to write elif. I mean, we are now supposed to go back, I mean remove the space and write elif condition. Again give colon, come to the next line. You can now see a indent, so statements, and you can continue, and finally it is the else condition, where you are not supposed to give any condition directly. You are supposed to write else and write the final statements. Okay, so don't worry, we'll understand this. So first thing that we are understanding is checking the number. Check if the number is greater than zero or not. So how to check it? We are checking if the number is greater than zero, then we can print number is greater than zero. Correct? Else. Okay, first of all, let us run this. So if I mention, let's say 7, can you see? If I mention 7, number is greater than 0, I'm able to get that as the output. But what if I mention, let's say -7? Now, if I mention -7, I won't be getting any output. Can you tell me why is that happening? Why is that happening? I'm not able to get any value here or any output here. Why is that happening? Because there is no else condition we have written only for the if condition. I mean, only if it is greater than 0, I mean the true value, or the, I mean, yeah, true value. Only for the true we have the statement that is number is greater than 0. What if the statement is, I mean the condition is false? If I mention -7, obviously -7 is not greater than 0. So it is, I mean, the condition is failing. So what if the condition is failing? So if the condition is failing, then it has to go to the else condition. Okay. So every time you write else condition, that means if anything is not working in the if condition, if anything is not true, basically, then only it will come to the else condition, that is a false condition. Then it will print the default statement, that is number is lesser than 0. So let's run it. If I mention -7, you can see number is lesser than 0. I'm able to get. Okay. I hope this is very much clear now, right? We'll move on to the example number 2. Now here we'll check whether the number is a positive or negative. Yes. Again, can you tell me how we can check whether the number is positive or negative? How can I check whether the number is positive or negative? Yes, exactly. If the number is greater than 0, I can term it as positive, right? If the number is less than 0, obviously I can say that it is negative, correct? We'll copy the same thing, what we have done in the previous example. We have mentioned number is equal to int input, enter the number. So if the number is greater than 0 now I'll mention the number is positive. Yes or no? Simple, correct? Else, I'll mention the number is negative. Very simple. Let's run it. We'll check for 5. We can see number is positive. If I mention -5, we can see number is negative. But the problem here is if I run it and if I give the value as 0, okay, if I give the value as 0, you can see the number is a positive. Whether the 0 has any symbol or has any signs. Whether 0 has any signs? No. It is neutral basically, right? It doesn't have a positive symbol. It doesn't have a negative symbol. It is neutral basically. So we are supposed to write one more condition where we are saying that if the number is equal to 0, that means number is 0, correct? So that we are supposed to write with the help of a LF condition. Okay. Now this LF is nothing but the short form of else if. So in C, C++, we are using else if, right? But in Python, we are not using else if. We are using elif. Okay. SE is not there. So else if we are mentioning, elif, we are mentioning number is equal to 0. Then we are printing number is 0. Okay, let's run it. Now, if I mention 5, we are able to get number is positive. If I mention -5, we are able to get number is negative. And if I mention 0, as you can see, number is 0. Now, this replacement of number is equal to 0, it can be the else condition, it can be an if condition, anywhere as you like. Okay. Ultimately, you should get the correct output. That's the only goal. Is that clear? Example number 2. Any doubts? Any doubts in example number 2? Okay. Now let's test you in example number 3. Now, example number 3 is very, very interesting. Please bear with me. So let me just minimize these. Okay. So let us understand this question. Check if you are admin. Okay. We are basically checking if you are an admin. If you are an admin, then you have an admin privilege. Else, you do not have an access. Now, imagine you are having a website, okay, your own website, and you are an admin. Now, if you put your admin password or admin username and password, only then you can see the admin dashboard. Otherwise, you are not supposed to give any access. You are supposed to give any normal access like other users. Now, this is what you're supposed to do. So, how can we do this? First of all, what are the 2 things that we are supposed to ask from the user, first of all? Can anyone tell me? If I want to log in to any website or anything, we require 2 things. What is that? Okay, one is password. One more thing is a username, correct? So we'll mention admin. Okay, we'll mention username. Okay, username is equal to. Now, should I mention int input here? Should I mention int input? No, because we are not converting into an integer. We are directly getting the string value from the user, right? So we are directly mentioning input. Input, enter username. Okay, enter username. Now we got the username from any random person. And what should be the username of an admin? That we will write directly. Okay, so if I mention, okay, we'll mention admin username. We'll mention this directly. That is admin at 123, something like this. Now, this is the admin username. Now, only if the admin enters this admin at 123, only then he is able to get the access to the admin privilege. Otherwise, he doesn't have the admin privilege. And can I just mention, just by providing the username, can he get the admin privilege? No. We are supposed to ask the password also, right? So we got the username from the user. We got the admin username. We have mentioning it as admin at 123 by default. Now, we'll mention a if condition. That means if the username, if the username, I mean, the whatever username is entered by the user. Now, if this username is equal to the admin username, correct? If it is equal to admin username, then what we are supposed to do? We are supposed to mention print welcome admin, kindly enter your password. Okay. So we are basically welcoming the admin and saying that kindly enter your password. Now we'll ask the password from the admin. We'll mention password is equal to, again, input, enter your password, or we can mention enter admin password. Okay. Now again, here also, I'll mention the password, I mean default password of admin, that is admin password is equal to, let's say pass at 432. Okay. Now this is the admin password. Now, if the password entered by the user is equal to the admin password, only then we can say welcome admin, you have admin privilege. Okay. Now what if this password is wrong, that is entered by the username, the password is wrong. So here we are mentioning a else condition where we are saying that wrong or invalid username, sorry, invalid admin password. Okay. So we have completed with the admin side now. Okay. We are complete with the admin side. Now what are you supposed to do? Now we are supposed to go to the elif condition. Okay. We are supposed to go to the elif condition. Now what you're supposed to write is, if the username is not equal to, okay, if the username is not equal to the admin username, if the username is not equal to admin username, then we are directly printing that welcome, and we can mention the username. Okay, we can welcome the username, whatever is been entered, and then we can ask the password. Okay, actually password is not required because the other person, we do not know what password he has mentioned, so we'll not mention here anything. Okay, and finally we can mention a else condition where we can say print invalid username. Okay, if the username is not present in our database, then we can mention invalid username. Okay, so we'll start checking our system. So it is asking me enter the username. So I'll mention, let's say I'll be mentioning a wrong username. I'll mention just admin. You can see it is mentioning welcome admin. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it is coming here. Okay, it is wrong. So okay, no problem. We'll do one thing. We'll directly mention it is here as else only. Okay, because the main uh, solution for this is checking if you're admin or not, right? So we'll directly mention else, and we can mention invalid username or invalid admin username. Okay, let's run it. We'll just mention admin. Okay, now we are getting invalid admin username, which is correct. Now we'll give the valid username, that is admin at 123. Okay, now it is saying welcome admin, kindly enter your password. Now we'll give a correct password, that is pass at 423. So it is saying welcome admin, you have admin privilege, which is correct. Now we'll run it once again. We'll give the correct password, I mean correct username, admin at 123. Now we'll give the wrong password, something wrong password. And if I run it, you can see invalid admin password. Okay, so this is how you basically build a system. So what system we have built? We have built a system where it is checking whether you're admin or not, and if you're admin, it is checking whether the password is correct or not. And if the password is correct, only then you are able to get the admin privilege. Otherwise, no admin privilege.